Hello, everybody. Great to be back with you.
Hello, everybody.
Dr. Heidi and I are coming in with hot topics of I don't know if I should say they were hot.
Coming
Us
in
women,
hot. That's what
us
we
women
are.
might, yeah, we might not feel hot when you're gaining weight. Like you're like, I feel far from hot and sexy.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. But it is the common question that every woman is like out of the blue. Oh my God, I've got this pooch. I've got this muffin. Where did it come from? I haven't changed a thing. So the real question is, Heidi, is it really normal for women once they hit this 40 to 50-ish to gain weight? Just suddenly gain weight.
Yeah, yeah. It's so normal. And it's one of those things you can't get around. It's just gonna happen. And what's really interesting and what we're seeing more and more because the discussion, I think, is becoming more available to women because women didn't talk about it before, but that it's happening younger and younger. And I think this is where the disconnect comes. Like, I'm still young enough, I can hit it hard, I can eat less, I can work out harder, and I'm gaining weight. Because it's not about that. It's about this natural progression of the body getting ready to have estrogen decline. The minute we start to have any estrogen decline, the fat will be redistributed, if you will. It's just sort of a mechanism the body goes through, partly out of protection and partly out of cleansing, getting out these, detoxing out these estrogens we're no longer going to be utilizing. And they tend to create that visceral fat. So that pooch you talked about, right?
Well, and what's interesting, even for me, Heidi, is the scale didn't really change, but all of a sudden, buttoning my pants or wearing things, I was like, oh, hey, we're like, I didn't think I'd gain weight and I hadn't changed my routine. But that's interesting, is that visceral fat in the middle, the little belly, is it all somehow just goes there.
It just goes there. And that's
Hello.
just the beginning. It's usually just that little pooch, and then it starts to distribute and rearrange everything due to progesterone levels changing, which is going to change because they're all connected, right? Hormones are hormones. So if one changes, they all have to shift. You look at a bird's flying in the air, one bird goes this way, they all go right,
Yeah,
and
that's so
almost
true.
simultaneous, right? And so you get a shift in the hormone, one hormone, the other ones are going to have to shift to accommodate and try to keep the balance. And so even as your progesterone starts to shift, that has a direct impact on insulin, and then insulin starts to waver. That insulin going up and down is going to signal to cortisol. Are we in fight or flight? Do we have enough glucose in our muscles to run? What's happening? What's happening? Are we getting enough rest? What's going on? What's going on? And that can also, when cortisol goes up, his only job, her only job, whatever you want to call it, is to hoard fat. And we are going to have weight gain. You could eat a raisin a day, you could work out, hit workouts, run a marathon twice a day. You're not going to lose weight, right? It's just you're going to get more and more inflamed. And that's where that shift happens. When we start to fight the process too hard in one direction, we can create more inflammatory processes because this is a shift that the body has to go through.
So, Heidi, let's just back up a second and let's just say prior to a woman entering these perimenopause and these hormone changes, maybe somebody's always been overweight.
Mhm.
That individual, they're still going to go through these changes and maybe struggle, but if they needed a weight loss program or plan, it might look a little different than a woman who's just specifically feeling like they're gaining weight during this time. Would that be correct? Or not necessarily?
Say that again another way.
Yeah. So if a woman is 30, she's overweight. Now she's 40, she's still overweight. She may even struggle more because she was already a little overweight. But would she have a different strategy? Let's just say her hormones are not all over the place because she's only 32.
Mhm.
would she have a different strategy to help her target losing weight than a woman who's 48 in the thick of perimenopause and the menopause?
Such a great question. And so many things going on. So here is one reality. If we're going into this overweight, it's going to be harder as we go. It's going to create more inflammation as we go. The strategy for someone younger may work, may continue to work with the increasing the exercise, decreasing um, just inflammatory foods, not being processed foods, reducing the number or frequency of processed foods, foods in boxes and things like that. Not lowering the calories so much as just getting more nutrient dense food and
Right.
up in the workout. That could still work. But once you get into that thick of it, it gets hard. Those strategies actually don't work as well. You have to really back off, become more intentional with the workouts because of the processes that are happening, right? You're losing your muscle mass, you're losing your estrogen, you're losing your progesterone, or that's fluctuating. They're just sending incorrect signals to the insulin. And so this fat hoarding, where are we going to get our hormones now? Because the ovaries are shutting down. The factory is shutting down, and so the body has to make these adjustments. And so the focus of losing fat becomes much more difficult and problematic because the body is really trying to make adjustments to prepare you for the change.
For the change, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
ladies. So,
That
and most of
answer?
us, yeah, no, absolutely. And most of us on here that are listening are preparing for the change, or we've had the change, but we're in that, right? So
Yeah.
we're in it. So, what I want everybody to know is like, we got to stay in the game. You have to believe and know that you've got to stay in the game, and life is going to be great on this other side. That's what Heidi and I always say, a ton of life left. So, how do we say, do we just always have puffy tummies? Like, is that just going to be the way it is for forever? Or what would be this like number one, two, and three strategies to really help women during this time? And, I would just say off the cuff for everyone, it's already a stressful time in our life with all of these changes. So all of us probably have a little bit high cortisol running through, and a lot of us probably from life and not eating great and everything probably have a little bit of leaky gut or gut dysbiosis or something. Therefore, both of those two things are telling our bodies, don't lose weight. Hold on to this fat.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. If we want to go down to root cause, okay, let's how far upstream can we go to really help all of this downstream? And leaky gut, stress response is a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it. So our microbiome, the health of our microbiome, because it does so much for us, is essential during this time because it really helps, like the birds, shift the microbes, which outnumber us 150 to 1, shift to adapt, shift to adapt. And they're always wanting to shift to our benefit and to balance. And so really looking at the diet, getting more diversity, as well as movement. It's managing the stress and getting more of the fuel to give the good bugs in there so they thrive and can do so many things to help our hormones, help our neurotransmitters, help our weight gain and weight loss become much more manageable.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with stress. If those are kind of some two big key areas. And what I say and what you say might be slightly different in what we're talking to clients of, hey, because a lot of people hear reduce your stress and they're like, great, what does that mean? And they go on their day and like done, like it's not happening. So what are the actionable steps to do, right?
Mhm.
And I think first and foremost for a lot of women is we just have to get out of the overwhelm and the putting out the fires. Like we need to sit down and look at our day and plan things out. Life will always be a little unpredictable, but if you start with a plan, then you're going to be more apt to be able to adapt versus having no plan and be like, put out the fire, put out the fire, put out the fire, right? Of
Yeah.
that's kind of how we've been living our stressful life with young kids and managing life, that's been what life has been like for many of us.
Mhm.
If you've been like, if you've rocked it with little kids and had a very zen life, what, like, thank you. And that's good for you. Like, holy smokes. Congratulations.
Write a book and tell the rest of us.
Yes, please, please, please do. I was just on a podcast with a woman. The podcast was called Homes That Heal. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's something that young families need to develop to have a home that heals as they're raising this family. So kids learn to self-regulate and heal and have nurturing. And like, that's amazing. So, with that, I think every one of us has to have a few outlets. And I don't mean an outlet like, you go to Vegas or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. Do you go out in nature? Do you go grounding? Are you walking? Are you journaling? Like there's got to be an outlet. So if there's no outlet, stress builds and builds and builds and builds. And that cortisol is like, thank you, I'll take some more. Thank you, I'll take some more. Thank you, I'll take a third helping. Instead of saying, oh, a little bit's coming, but you know what? I sit, I have some nice tea, I read for 30 minutes every day, and that's my reset. Then your cortisol says, oh, okay, cool, I'll come back down. Then life goes on. Maybe we've got an argument. Maybe we're like had some bad traffic. Cortisol goes up. Oh, we come home. Ah, I went for a little walk, right? And cortisol comes back down. If we have built into our day a few mechanisms, then we're never letting ourselves take that second, third, and fourth helping, which our body keeps wanting. The more and more we have, it's never enough. That threshold, that base threshold keeps going up and up and up of what we need. So one of the things, I think everybody, if you've listened to me for any moment of time, hear me say, if you win the morning, you're going to win your day. If you can start a morning routine of joy and calm and ease to some degree, like you schedule that before the day gets a little wacko, then already your stress levels are starting at 0 versus already at 50, right? Then, of course, we can go into what are you nurturing yourself with your foods, things like that. We'll talk about the microbiome in the next second. But Heidi, what else would you say when people are like, what do you mean manage stress? Like, we're not talking about a pill, you guys. We're not talking about go get an anti-anxiety drug or something. We're talking about you have the capabilities to manage your stress.
Yeah. Again, root cause medicine, right? It all starts in how we perceive things. And if we start to learn, and I really believe that the gift of breath, we've been given the gift of breath to use anytime we want. It's available anytime. We don't have to open it. We don't have to carry it with us. It is always within us. To use the gift of breath to just breathe with me. I even say it to myself, Heidi, breathe with me. This is in the grand scheme of things, this is not something to raise my cortisol about. Can I fix it? Don't worry. The Dalai Lama says if you can fix it, don't worry. If you can't fix it, don't worry. It's just, it is what it is, right? And so one of our mentors, Brendan Burchard, always says, embrace the struggle. And I think that's the kind of the mindset that is the first step to managing stress. Is I know days are going to be hard. I know there's going to be things I have to shift about, but I'm so capable because I've done the training. I have my breath if I ever need it, and I've planned. And so I love your comment about planning because I really think that morning and that moment, and it just really, it doesn't need to be a big long time frame, but a moment to sit quietly, take a breath, and say, this is my day. Now, how can I actually make that work as smoothly as I can, not knowing what's coming, right? Because we can't change what's coming. And so the mindset of I'm going to embrace whatever struggle happens. And if it feels overwhelming, I always have my breath. Now, I can go further and say if we don't have meditation in our lives, we're missing out. We're missing out hugely on actually knowing yourself, feeling the world, being so present and being able to be present at any time. And meditation, that practice of meditation really helps. And it sets us up to be drawn to the thing we want in life and the thing we want out of life. So start with just breath and mindset, and the stress will start to come down. But that's the key thing is when we start to feel that stress go up. I love you pointing out this happens and then it has opportunity to come back down. We have to provide opportunities, and life is so stressful, and there's all this rhetoric out there that says you got to go, 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 do. And if you're not doing those go, go, goes, there's something wrong with you, right? But we do have to provide our body, our mind, our nervous system the opportunity to lower that stress.
Uh, and you guys, it's just pausing to realize, oh, I haven't even done that in my life. And that's okay. Many of us all were at a point that we're like, oh, wait, what? I'm supposed to do this? Oh, now we know. So now it's up to you to say, okay, where can I fit this in my day and how can I get started? Right? How can I just take that very first step? Because if you want to lose that belly fat, managing your stress is essential. It's essential.
Essential.
So, Heidi, let's jump into the microbiome and
Yeah.
related to weight because people are like, oh my God, do I need to take a prebiotic or a probiotic? I'm taking my green drink. I've heard about binders. Should I take charcoal? Should I take my digestive enzyme? Like, literally, people don't know what to do. And they've got like all sorts of things. Maybe I did take it. Now I'm taking this. What's working? People are overwhelmed, but they do know gut health is important. And then they're kind of like, but what do I do?
Yeah. You hear both Kelly and I talk about it, and all the time is we've been given everything we need, meaning all the food we grow out there is provided. Hear me when I say the food that is grown, not produced, not packaged, not readily assembled, for you. They always lose nutrients, they always lose something in that process. And it's all about feeding that good microbiome, like we mentioned before. The microbes in our body outnumber our human cells 150 to 1. And just taking that in is just, I still meditate on that thinking that is just so huge. So I better feed the guys, the gals, the community in there that is working so hard to produce B vitamins, absorb my vitamin D, make neurotransmitters, heal my leaky gut, give me energy, support my mitochondria, do all these things. And so, what are those things we have to do to feed that? Again, go with the food first, diversity of what you're eating, not just the same thing. We, as humans, we all get in a rut. We have our favorite meals, it's an easy go to. We don't have to think about it, but we really want to focus on eating the rainbow, having a colorful plate. And I think we've mentioned before, sometimes I look at it as I'm serving my kids dinner, I'm like, oh, it's all brown. What am I thinking? We need some red in there and yellow and so forth. And so go for those things. Look at your plate. Am I eating the rainbow? We have to eat the rainbow because that's what fuels the good bugs, that microbiome that tells our body to use fat for energy or hoard it. And if it can't use that fat for energy because it's dead food, it's not nutritious, it's not alive to feed those bugs, then we just get overweight. And it's the kind of weight that's inflammatory, hard on our joints. It leads to disease states.
Yeah, wow. So you guys, this is interesting because Heidi and I have times we'll talk about, oh yeah, a green drink or green powder that we like or reds or a digestive enzyme if you need it or we've got to be eating our prebiotic foods or our everything that helps support the gut, but we do know life is a little difficult. We don't ever expect people to have 20 products. Heidi, something brand new that's kind of coming to the market, which I'm excited about, is a product that a company's done a lot of research in that is like, listen, if we could give you this to drink, and this has in it extra on top of eating, because we're not always nailing it, you guys. Even Heidi and I, we readily agree, not always nailing it for sure. But if it could be that extra support for your gut, here's more to cover all the foods of the rainbow.
Mhm.
Here's more to just assist with those digestive enzymes. Here's more of some, prebiotic foods and your postbiotics and helping with a little support for detox. There's a brand new product that's coming on the market, which Heidi and I are really excited to see what it's going to really do for people that instead of taking maybe 10 extra products, is see what this is going to do. It's called P84. It's really interesting because it's going to cover all of those aspects to feed, help diversify, help support detoxification, all of those processes. We wish it were easy, but that's the cool thing is the gut is like this symphony. It's this masterpiece going on in there. And for as much as Heidi and I love the brain, most of the time it's what's going on the gut, and the gut is talking to the brain more than the brain is talking to the gut. And the gut is what is honestly that masterpiece symphony talking to our heart, talking to our lungs, talking to our immune system. And so giving it the respect it needs is, you guys, we've got to take care of our microbiome in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as if if we don't take care of our home, we don't do any maintenance, it will fall apart. It will slowly just fall apart. And then where are we? So you don't tend to a garden, it's going to just die. You don't tend to our lawn, all of that. And this is what we want to encourage you is to attend to that microbiome inside first. There's some key things that we all that are really evident, and it's in the research over and over, like phytonutrients. Oh, what is that, right? Phytonutrients are the green, the yellows, the greens, the reds, the different color foods that give us different nutrients. Each thing that is a different color, they have some crosstalk in terms of what they do, but they all have their unique messaging signal to that microbiome. So we need those phytonutrients. Everyone talks about probiotics and prebiotics. And if I said to you, oh, you need your oligosaccharides and your fructooligosaccharides, they'd go, what the heck? But those are all those things that feed the good bacteria in our gut. And yes, we get it in food, but again, our food isn't as healthy, isn't as lively as it used to be. And so this product really gives us, and the research backs that up, a real sort of leg up. So let's just do these powders, get all of our phytonutrients, get all of our prebiotics, our oligosaccharides, our fructooligosaccharides, our probiotics, and then some of the postbiotics as a result of that. We get a complete synergistic microbiome support. You support that microbiome, it will do the rest.
It will do the rest.
That's what's the beauty of that symphony is we get all the players in there and ding, the director turns it on, we give it those what it needs, and the music is amazing. Vitality is the result.
Oh, so good. So, you guys, I know you were kind of thinking like, what pearls of wisdom, what new shiny object are they going to talk about to help me with my weight loss? But we want you to know you have everything within you. So, one, watch your stress, use your breath, find out ways to kind of manage that cortisol for each and every one of us. Number two, really make your gut health top priority. Don't wait for January to lose weight. Just start improving the health of your microbiome. And if you're interested in learning more about this product, P84, let us know. It is actually available to some people as early as the middle of October, and for most everybody, the beginning of November. So, depending on when you're listening to this, let us know. But you could get your hands on this first. This is really exciting. I can't wait to get started on my body. Mine should be delivered like the next day or two. So, I'm excited. And so that's just like a daily habit that you bring into your life. And Heidi, if the women say, well, give me one more thing about weight loss in midlife, give me one more thing. I'm managing my stress. I'm healing my gut. Um, what would be that one next level if somebody says, I'm already doing that? If you are, double check that you are, or maybe take it to the next level. But then if there's one more thing, what would you start adding, Heidi?
I really encourage women to, again, embrace the struggle of a good hard workout. Short term, you don't want to be going hour, hour and a half. I do 2 hour. No, keep it short, keep it intense. If you're doing weightlifting, which I strongly encourage you to do weightlifting because our muscle loss and that hormone shifting is profound. And you don't want to wait till you go, "Ah, I can't lift that. This is really hard." Don't wait. Again, don't wait to lose weight. Don't wait to lift the weight, but get a trainer and start going a little bit higher weights, make that struggle and really challenge your muscles because they will show up for you if you show up for them. So that's what I would say.
Uh, I love that. I'm right there with you. And I will say, gone is the time when somebody gave us a compliment to say, like, oh my God, you're so skinny. If somebody says that to me now, I'm just like, I am strong, baby. Like, strong is the new skinny. Strong is the new healthy. Don't tell me I'm skinny. I don't want any of that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, we wish it was just like, here's your fairy dust and be done. And Heidi and I would be millionaires if that's really what we could offer you guys.
Yeah.
But we can offer you a place and an environment to always do that in. Heidi and I have a membership that you can always join that is a safe place that is women just like you looking to optimize their health and their wellness. So we always invite you to take a look at the membership. It's month to month. And we also have an upcoming summit you're going to be hearing all about. That's a free virtual summit. We would love for you to join. So look at the show notes below. For those of you that are listening to over the podcast, it has all of the details there. And for anybody that's over on social media, I'll drop the links there as well. Just let us know. And we're always, as usual, just happy to have you along the way. We hope you had a ton of fun today and you walked away with the one thing you're going to implement in your health. Let us know.
Let us know. Be well, people.
Until next week, see you soon.
Bye.